cycling.
Oh.
Hey guys, we're talking about drafting. Do you guys know what drafting means? Do you?
I do not.
Even in skiing, drafting is being behind somebody. In cycling too.
It's more than one.
Yeah, for the Winter Olympics, like when they're doing all that ski stuff and you want them to break the wind and you don't want to have to kill your speed, you're like right here and they're doing it for you. Oh, come on.
I haven't been watching much of the Olympics, I guess.
It's just a thing.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know.
Even in dog sledding, but we'll talk about that another time. All right. So, hi, guys. Happy Wednesday. We are here to talk about a topic that you in your poll told us was really important. Hey, Daryl. How are you? How's Wilson and Peppa?
Oh, she says, hello, ladies.
Hello, Daryl. All right. So, we're talking about housebreaking. And we want to say that the housebreaking problems that we hear are 99% owner problems.
Yeah.
It's a management issue. It's just, you're not aware of it. But before we start, let's give you some of our best housebreaking trauma stories. Starting with my student who will go nameless. It was a decade ago, but she would probably still remember if I said her name. She had a Maltese and she said it was totally housebroken at 9 weeks of age. Totally. And I went over to do a lesson. I went to the kitchen. She said he's never allowed out of the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But I didn't believe he was housebroken because he was a baby. And as I was going in, her housekeeper opened the door a little too much and the dog flew out of the kitchen. She almost had a breakdown going, oh my God, he's out of the kitchen. She thought he'd get lost. I don't know. So they were running around the corner. And as I walked by, I saw a movement out of the corner of my eye in her dining room, which oddly was carpeted with a snow white carpet. In the corner, shivering, what do you think I saw? We'll call him Buddy. Little Buddy, shivering, going, oh my goodness, I'm so scared. I got down on my hands and knees, and when I was eye level with the carpet, do you know what I saw? Yellow.
Oh my gosh.
So he was freaking out. She was freaking out. And I knew that when I told her, she'd freak out more. And I did tell her, and she did freak out more. And I had to help her to her knees so she could see this for herself. And then we talked about housebreaking and being really, really on top of things. Like when you're not in the kitchen, you crate the dog, you pen the dog. So stuff like that happens all the time. And I think people are really surprised.
I'm like still in shock. You're looking under the bed and you just see like all this.
I was like, oh no. And I completely forgot about Buddy and thought, she's going to have a stroke.
Right. And that happens all the time.
Because he's little.
Yeah.
And because
Little
he's
dogs.
little. And so many students are like, I take them out, they come in and they keep going in the same spot. Because now pretty much you've made their bathroom indoors. So underneath the dining room table was her indoor bathroom.
Yes. And she was like, get vinegar and water. I'm like, forget vinegar and water.
Yeah.
Use what we use, which is Vision. And you can buy it online and we can put it in the comments. We sell it at the school. It's the only thing we use. We love Vision. It actually sort of bubbles out the stains and it's super safe. It gets out everything. Blood, vomit, pee, poop, wine, anything you spill.
Nice.
We love it.
But most importantly, it takes the scent out.
Yeah.
Which people don't understand because they don't smell it doesn't mean a dog can't smell it. What do you say? A dog can smell a drop of blood
in a gallon of water.
Right. So they smell it. And even if it's not, if you have multiple dogs, they're going to go maybe mark on it. Really important that you get any type of scent out.
Yeah. And that's important when you get a new puppy and you have an established older dog and the puppy has an accident and you mop it up and take him out. And the older dog's like, what's this?
Yeah.
I didn't know
we had indoor plumbing.
We can go inside now. Awesome.
Indoor plumbing.
And in the summertime, a lot of people say, my dog loses their housebreaking. But we found a very interesting fact.
Yes.
Most of those people have a pool. So your dog now has an outdoor water bowl.
Nice.
Or the dogs who get to the toilet. Or we've had dogs who will put their front feet on the hot tub and drink out of it. So there are many sources of water. And we know you think that you pick up the bowl and you don't leave it out all day, but sometimes you do and you don't know it.
Right.
Bird baths. Dogs drink out of bird baths.
Well, and with the pool, they're not necessarily drinking it, but if they're swimming in it, they're just taking water in. Then you don't realize it, but they are because their mouths are open.
What goes
and
in
that's huge.
must
in
come out.
Summer months, yeah.
And we also do make sure your dogs don't have UTIs. Or any medical issues. So when you come to us like that, we do the check. Are you really maintaining what's going on in the house? Are you monitoring your dog? And if we think that you are and it's still going wrong, we say check their urine, right? So you want to make sure there's no crystals, There's no UTIs. That can happen.
Yeah.
And when you give your dog medication like prednisone, totally expect extra peeing. I got it.
Get it until you see what extra peeing means.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And I was talking about this the other day. Going to the bathroom for a dog, for any animal, is relief. And so when you're horrified, he's like, I feel good.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they're going to seek out places to go if you don't take on to their note of, I've got to go. So people say, oh, my dog pooped by the back door. Well, where do you usually take him out? The back door. Were you there? No. Okay,
Right.
Well, what's he going to do?
Right. And you know what? To that point, so many people say, I think they were mad at me. They peed or they pooped.
And they looked right. You get they looked right at me while they were peeing.
But the thing is, dogs think pee and poop is awesome.
Right? They eat it.
They eat it. Yeah,
And
they
sniff
smell
out.
it. They're not punishing you.
They
by
think it's a
peeing and
gift.
pooping. They're going because they have to go.
Yeah.
It is. It's a gift.
If we could get rid of that whole, my dog did it out of spite.
Yeah, and
Because
that's huge.
think about this. If a person was spiteful and they didn't have to go to the bathroom, could they whip up a poop to
Right.
make you
Good
mad?
point.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that way. No, we had somebody who said my dog pooped on the couch because I stopped giving him canned food.
Yeah.
See, then it's like a Dr. Phil area of,
Right.
We've now gone past dog training or somewhere else where we don't belong. So we're just telling you that it is not a spite thing.
No.
Can it be a stress thing?
Yeah.
Yes. Stress, I will give you. The
Yes.
dog is alone in a house. It's a big house. He's nervous. I'm thinking of Allison's dog, Oliver,
Okay.
who's peeing, right? You went and did an in-home with her,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so she's saying he's doing a little marking. He gets nervous, he'll pee. And so that is something completely different.
Mhm.
And that's either some anxiety medication or a belly band
Right.
or more supervision or changing behavior. It's stuff like that. So we're not talking about that. We're just talking about dogs who you think are just trying to piss you off. They're not.
Yeah,
They're
they're not.
really not.
No.
I feel like a lot of times too, though, people have higher expectations for their dog. Like you have an 8-week-old puppy and they're like, oh, it's fine. Like I don't have to go to the bathroom until or like every 6 hours. So my puppy doesn't have to go to the bathroom every 6 hours.
We've
Like,
heard that.
yeah,
Yes.
like a lot of people come in and, or they have a small dog. Like I had one guy who came in and he has like a 12-week-old puppy. And he was like, well, I let it out in the morning and then, I'm gone for work all day. And, and then, it has an accident. Well, of course it's going to have an accident. It's a
Right.
12-week-old puppy. His
Little
bladder's
bladder.
like this big.
Mhm.
So I feel like people have unrealistic expectations of what their puppy can do and handle.
Right.
Right.
And I worry about the wee-wee pad thing.
Well, and that's the
Yes,
other, it's
that's
funny that you say
huge.
that because he has a wee-wee pad outside. So he's like, well, the dog sometimes goes on the wee-wee pad and he nails it every time. I'm like, but it's a 12-week-old puppy. He's going to get bigger. You're going to have like 17 wee-wee pads around the house.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I sum up wee-wee pad training as, first, let's teach your dog to pee. Let's tell them, oh, no, you can't do that.
Right.
Why double check to begin with? Which means that if you work full-time, we get it. You can't leave wee-wee pads out. You got to have somebody either walking your dog or you have to bring them to daycare. Like that's really, we raise great puppies at the school.
Mhm.
So a lot of people come here for daycare and we're housebreaking their dogs
Yeah.
for them. So it's important that you do something like that to help your dog help himself. Otherwise, it can go on.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, my puppy's 7 months. I gave him run of the house. We're like,
Right.
Yeah, and now
why?
he's going to the
Right.
bathroom on your carpet that feels just like your wee-wee pad.
Or you don't know it. And then when you move your furniture to clean the carpets or you get new furniture and you find piles of poop behind it with little dogs, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Not
with
with,
little dogs.
not with like 50 and over pounds.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause
You find
see
that
it.
in
But yeah,
real time.
when you get a
smell it.
puppy, like
Yeah.
you always say, like the beginning, the first, couple months, couple weeks, whatever, you're setting that foundation. You're setting the pattern for the dog. So as it gets older, that can be its pattern. So if you're setting the pattern of having it pee on a wee-wee pad, and then 6 months later, you're like, okay, here, now you have to go outside. The
Right.
dog's like, what the hell? For 6 months, I've been peeing inside in the house. It's warm. It's quiet. I don't have any
Right.
distractions.
And it's instant.
And it's instant.
I gotta
Now you're
go.
gonna make me go outside in this cold, dirty grass. Like, what is that?
And puppies don't really have future think. They don't go, I gotta go. I better find somebody to let them know. Like the older
Right,
dogs,
right.
they go,
Yeah.
I gotta go, and they go.
Well,
Right.
so do babies.
Exactly.
Right? That's why they wear diapers.
For a
Right.
long time.
When I got my first dog and it was a puppy, actually, and I got it from a rescue, they told me, it was in the winter. They said, don't take the dog out because it's too cold. And it really wasn't too cold. So that's another misconception. Your dog can go out right from the beginning.
Mhm.
Don't worry that what the season is. They can. And
Right.
it started outside.
If it's snow, which hopefully we'll get no more of
Right.
until like 2020,
Fingers crossed.
you would dig out an area.
Yeah.
And if it's like one of these 3-pound see through the dog things and you
Mhm.
don't want to take them out in below zero, I get it. Make a place in your garage.
Mhm.
And
yeah,
duct tape a
absolutely.
wee pad. So at least the dog associates that with going outside.
Right.
Right. I want to
Right.
make sure the dog understands that. Another common issue is people take their dogs out. They let them walk all over the yard
Mhm.
and it's a big old field trip. And then the dog finally goes to the bathroom. And what do people do?
They
Take
bring
them
them
in the
inside.
house.
Boring. Right.
And what if the dog wanted to stay outside? So now they say, guess what? I'm going to hold this
Yes.
until I'm done with my field trip. You could be out there for an hour, and some people are.
Yeah.
And if you go out and the dog doesn't produce, another thing people do, they say, oh, I took my dog outside and he wouldn't go, so I let him
Right.
in the house.
He didn't
And
have to go.
Right.
Right. And then he pooped in the house.
Right.
We say, if you take your dog out and you know he has to go,
Right.
don't let him be loose in the house.
Right. Because then that's a reward. He's thinking, oh, I'm going to go outside for 20 minutes and then I'm just going to come inside and run around. So it doesn't matter.
Or he was holding out on you and saying, no, I don't go right away because then the outcome is I have to go in the house. I don't care if you're giving him a cookie. Some
Right.
dogs want to be outside.
Absolutely.
So take them out and stand in a boring area and be like, hurry up, hurry up. But when they go, then take
Yeah.
them on a field
And be
trip.
boring.
Yeah.
What your hurry up has to be dull.
Yes.
And
Right.
hurry up is the word that I use. Do you use
Mhm.
that?
I don't.
What do
I
you
don't
use?
need a word.
I just stand there and I wait for them to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't usually say anything.
I use hurry up. And it probably comes from dog shows, because when you're at hotels and you're at big show sites, you
Yeah.
want to tell the dog, this is why we're here.
Right.
And you can say whatever you want, like whatever you're going to be okay.
Actually, I think I say, okay, go potty. I think that's weird, but I don't say like continuously hurry, hurry, hurry.
We also have older dogs.
That's
Like
true.
when
I don't have a puppy.
And you would have your puppy on a leash. You wouldn't just open the door and be following the dog saying, hurry up. You bring
Right.
it to the same spot and you hold the leash so that it can't explore and have a great time until it goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, I had a client like that who like just let the dog go outside and it just ran around and was crazy. And it
Yeah.
was like playtime. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
outside. And she's like, it won't go to the bathroom outside.
Of course it won't.
Yeah, because it goes outside and it gets a party.
Right.
She's like, I just bring it out and it goes crazy. I'm like, okay, well, what do you do? Like when you bring it,
Yeah.
she's like, well, I play with it outside. I'm like, okay, like, go outside and
Right.
be boring.
Play
Don't-
with it after.
Yeah, play with it after
That's
it goes
exactly
to the
what
bathroom.
you want. Yeah.
And we want your dogs to learn to go potty on a leash. Can you please do
Yes.
that?
Yes,
Because
please.
you teach them to run out in the yard, or those of you without yards, you let them just go and you think they'll come back because they're puppies, and sometimes they do, but they hit a point where they don't. And then the dog learns I have to be 30 feet away from you to go to the bathroom.
Right. Mhm.
So if you're at the vet and you're outside, or you're at a friend's house and there's nowhere to let your dog roam off leash, they're like, what are you doing? Give me
Yeah.
some space, some personal space. I did have a Doberman who liked to go to the bathroom behind a tree.
Always.
Always. And so I had to find a tree when we were
Yeah,
out and
every
about.
time you go somewhere.
Yeah, it's annoying.
That's the other thing too, getting them comfortable going to the bathroom on different surfaces,
Yes.
like gravel, grass, concrete, dirt, everything, so that, like you always say, like, what if you take your dog traveling and you're on a highway and the
Yep.
only thing there is, dirt
The
or
highway.
cement,
Right.
or a highway.
Yeah.
It's
There's
so
no place else for the dog to go to the bathroom, and your dog, what is your dog going to do? Hold it?
yeah, it is so important to do that.
And also, a lot of people are like, I have to take my dog on a long walk in order for it to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
That's not true,
No, it's
right? We
absolutely
want
not
them
true.
to actually go before you go on the long walk. Then you're not carrying your bag. And that way you don't always have to go on a walk. Do you remember when I got Riley and she was from a family that they just opened the door, and she's from Pennsylvania and just roamed around?
Yeah, that was a
And-
terrible idea.
Yes, but remember, she would not go on a leash, and I had to start on my way back. She was on a leash. Terrible.
You shouldn't have to go through that. So if
No.
you start it out right, everything's going to be good.
Yeah.
If you don't have it right, things are going to be
Right,
tough.
because they can always go off the leash. It's not the same, on leash, off leash.
I know. And people think we're trying to kill their lives. We're not.
No.
But trust me, it pays dividends.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a little download for you. I love this. I'm going to have you do this because I am going to tell Brian
Oh, sorry.
to run outside for me. I'll be right back.
Okay. So this is just, I don't know if you can see it, but I think Britt is going to do,
She'll probably put it in the
She'll put it
comments
up.
because I don't think you
yeah.
can
So
see
it's
it.
just like a potty time clock. So you can put your dog's name on it, and it has the date, the time, if it peed or pooped, and then food and water intake, and then some notes. So you can actually have it written down.
Track it. Yeah.
You can track it. So, there's a lot of people in your house. So say, you let the dog out and I let the dog out and then I don't know if the dog pooped or peed or whatever. So you can just track it on here.
And this is so good because this is how you develop the schedule.
Yes.
You think you went out at this time, they peed, but if you have it written down, you know exactly what they did, and that way you can start to anticipate, all right, they go out at this time, this is when they poop, this is when they eat, then they pee at this time. I did that with my children when they were little, their feeding schedule, just so I would know when I last fed them and how much they ate.
Well, yeah, I don't have a kid, but I lived with people who have had children, and I've had to go with the schedule, and it's always the same thing. Every time of the day, they do this or they do that, and they kind of live by that. Well, first of all, it makes it easier for you,
right?
But it also makes it easier for the kid or the dog to understand. Okay, we're eating now, or okay, we have to go to the bathroom now, or whatever. So,
one thing about this. Oh wait, first I have to say hi. Hi, Gary. Gary's a friend from Drum Corps.
Hi, Gary.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. So are you talking about the food being the same quantity, consistent?
We were just talking
No,
about
I was just saying about
if
giving,
you document,
yes,
you can formulate a schedule.
Right. So we want you to be consistent about what you're feeding the dog. And we'd like you to be semi-consistent about the time that you do it. And we also want you to know that most times, check with your vet, but puppies after the age of 4 months do not need 3 meals. We switch them to 2 after 4 months. We've met puppies that are 7, 8 months old and people are giving them 3 meals a day. We're like, why?
Right.
And that explains why they're pooping 8,000 times a day.
Well, the other thing too is feeding them too late, right? Or like you say, oh, my dog goes to the bathroom at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, okay, well, when did you feed? When's the last time you fed it? Oh, at 8. So the dog's gonna have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So what do we say? 6 o'clock usually for young
I try
puppies?
to cut it off 5:36.
5:36. No food, no water after that, and then they should have to go to the bathroom at 11, maybe the latest.
Right.
And then they should be good for the rest of the night.
And a lot of people are worried if they cut off the water that their dog is going to become dehydrated.
Yes.
We're not talking about the hottest months if the dog is out running.
Right.
This is just normal every day. They don't need to have drinks after 6 o'clock. It'll make it, actually, I would do earlier if it's a brand new puppy.
And you think about yourself too. Like I can survive if I go 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock. So
I can go days without water.
Yeah,
I can too.
As long as I have
good.
tea. Tea helps
Or
me
you
through
just
it.
let them have, they wet their whistle. They don't have a whole bowl
don't
of
give them a
water.
whole bowl of water
Right.
because if you give them a whole bowl of water, they're gonna have
They're
to
gonna
pee.
pee.
Usually shortly after.
Exactly.
It's like you wouldn't tank your kid up before bedtime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one thing about if you do have to go out in the middle of the night with your puppy, please don't be interesting.
No.
Like here's my whole idea, and what I try to get my puppy to understand is you don't want to wake me up. If you wake me up, I say nothing. I reach in, I carry you, I put you down. I might say hurry up, and I stand there, and then I pick you up and I put you back in your crate and I shut the door and I go back to bed. I'm not praising. I'm not I'm not giving you a field trip.
No party.
No, I'm not even giving you a cookie.
Yeah.
I'm giving you life. I'm
Yeah.
letting you live
You also
another
woke me up
day.
at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm a little mad.
There's nothing that really you want to hear me say at that point.
Exactly.
So I am going to help myself and my puppy have a successful night, which to me means you're not getting up at all.
Yeah.
And so this is also great for people who are babysitting your dog, your children, spouses, family members. Everybody should be on a chart like this. And again, we talk about adult dogs sometimes lose their housebreaking. And it's from stress, or maybe you're going to somebody's house and you're visiting. You better make sure your 3-year-old perfectly house-trained dog, when it goes to a new house, like if you rented a house down the shore, that's such a Jersey thing. If you're not in New Jersey, the shore is the beach.
Yeah. And it's really close. So
yeah, it always makes it sound far away. But if you go down the shore and you rent a house, or anywhere and rent a house, you might assume, oh, my dog is housebroken. And then you find out you're not getting your deposit back because he peed all over somewhere you didn't see.
Right.
So even when you go away, besides this chart, have your cleanup stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you change their food, sometimes that can.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
How to do it successfully?
We did.
Transferring the food
Did
over?
you?
Oh, no.
The amount?
If you are changing your food, if you're going from kibble to kibble, you don't just, breakfast, you give it its old food, and then dinner, you give it the new food, because then it's just going to mess them all up. So we like to gradually do it. First couple days, you do 3/4 of old, quarter of new, and then you gradually add more or less of whatever.
For days.
Yeah.
Days.
Or weeks.
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 And if you have a sensitive stomach dog, it's even longer.
Yeah.
But we have known people who have changed the food. They got a really high quality food. They're like, I'm going to give you
That's
better food.
Yeah.
Dump it in the bowl the next night or that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're up at 3 a.m.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you're eating McDonald's every day, and then all of a sudden you have an apple, and your like whole body's just confused and messed up.
But even sometimes you give like a really hearty bone or something your dog is not used to having. Take them out. You know,
we also
might have to go to the bathroom.
We have a
might go right
student,
through them.
and you know who I'm thinking of, who when he changes water, like water from water, and he gets enough money. He gets to run, so she has to do bottled water. So you might have to consider that too, especially if you're going from state to state.
Right.
Yeah. I'd bring your own in a gallon jug, or I would just buy distilled water when you get there.
I moved 20 minutes from my old house to here, and the water here is terrible. So not here, not like in this town, but like where
different.
I live, it's completely
totally
different.
Yeah, the minerals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so I trust this helps. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll be back next Wednesday with more fun. And I think we're going to do the top 3 things that are driving you guys crazy as evidenced by the poll we put up. So I have a feeling we're going to do jumping next week.
Because, good. Love jumping.
Yeah, and now it's warm weather and people are starting to have people over and it's getting nicer.
The dogs are getting wild now. I don't know.
They are.
They're like, oh my God, it's so warm out. I've been saying that.
And remember, they do that when it gets cold initially. They're like, woo, it feels great. And now they're like, no, it sucks. Warm feels better. Yeah. So we will come to you with that next week. Bye, Daryl. Thanks for joining us. Bye, Gary.